be the U.S. representative for that area of New York, and you had to persuade those voters to support you.
Yeah.
Now you represent the whole state of New York. You're running to be president of the United States.
Yep.
How do you convince those uncles, others like them, who support gun rights to now support gun control?
Yeah. So this is also easy for me. So I think the amount of gun death we've seen in the last decade is so alarming to so many people. We do not want to live in a world where we are teaching our children shelter-in-place drills as opposed to math drills. I can't imagine the fear that every parent is feeling right now, because the last shooting was families going to Walmart to do back-to-school shopping. That is not an America we should want to live in, where there's so much anxiety and the easy access that these individual shooters have to weapons of war. In America today, we have Americans who are fueled by hate, racism, division, hunting down other people with weapons of war. So I think there is already common ground on this. I think NRA members want to ban military-style assault weapons and large magazines. They want universal background checks. So someone who's on the terror watch list can't buy a weapon. I can't imagine something more common sense. And they want to have an anti-federal gun trafficking law. And that last one is the easiest. It just says law enforcement can go after gun traffickers. And in a city like Chicago or a city like New York City, it's true. These weapons come up the iron pipeline. They get sold to gang members right out of the back of a truck with no opportunity for a background check because there's no federal anti-gun trafficking law. That law alone, last time, we got 58 votes. We are this close. You need 60 votes to pass a law in the Senate, this close to passing it. If Mitch McConnell had the courage to stand up to the NRA, we would get a vote on those three measures, and I wouldn't be surprised if all of them passed today.
What about buying back assault weapons? Should the federal government ban assault weapons and then force people to sell them?
So we have a federal statute right now that mandates how we treat certain weapons of war. We use it requiring weapons of war like machine guns have to be registered, that you have to have you have to get your fingerprints done. You have to have background checks to have access to them in any way. You could use that same statute for all military-style assault weapons. I think you should make it illegal to buy or sell them because you don't want to create a black market, and it should be illegal to use them. We should pass a federal ban on assault weapons and large magazines. We've done that before. We can do it again. So I think that is the regulatory framework, and you should have a nationwide buyback so that those people who did purchase these weapons because they're gun enthusiasts could actually have them purchased back by the federal government. That is the framework you should use.
Should you force people to sell them back to the government?
So you would create fear if you use that language of a debate that people don't want to have. But you can basically get it done through the combination of a guaranteed federal buyback combined with this mandatory registration as we use that framework for machine guns over a decade ago.
But if you choose to just keep your gun in your home, there's not a criminal penalty under your plan?
You could look at that, but the point is if it's just in your home and you're not using it or buying and selling it, there's no harm there. So you want to make sure there's no black market. You want to make sure there's no buying and selling, and you want to make sure it's illegal. So you can look at it. You can keep all options on the table, but your first step would be the regulatory framework we use for machine guns, combined with a ban of assault weapons and banning the purchasing and selling and use. And I think that is the most strong and effective legal framework you could create.
It's been well-tread territory